Hey there. Welcome to our deep dive into the world of software engineering.
Hmm.
It looks like you've sent us a ton of material on this.
Yeah.
So maybe you're considering a career shift,
Right.
prepping for a big meeting,
Mm-hmm.
or just want to finally understand what your coder friends are always going on about.
Yeah, it's certainly a field that's having a huge impact on, well, pretty much everything these days.
Totally. So to get us started, let's ditch that stereotype of a lone coder in a dark room.
Okay.
Instead, think of software engineers as the architects and masterminds behind the digital world.
I like that. It really emphasizes that this isn't just about writing lines of code.
Right.
They're problem solvers who are designing and building the systems that run our lives.
Okay, so let's break down what that actually involves.
Yeah.
Our sources highlight a bunch of responsibilities, things
Hmm.
like designing and developing software,
Right.
rigorously testing and debugging it,
Yes.
and even doing code reviews for their colleagues.
And what's fascinating is that it's not just about individual coding brilliance.
Mm.
There's a huge emphasis on collaboration,
Right.
working with other developers, product managers, designers. It's a very team-oriented field.
So it's less about being a lone wolf coder and more about being a team player who can communicate effectively.
Exactly. Those code reviews, for example, are crucial for maintaining quality and consistency.
Right.
They're also a chance for the entire team to learn from each other and stay on top of best practices.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, our sources also mention some essential hard skills every software engineer needs,
Mm.
especially proficiency in specific programming languages.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot about Python, Java, and JavaScript.
Those are definitely some of the heavy hitters in the software world.
Right.
They're used across a wide range of applications,
Mhm.
from web development and data science to creating those apps we use on our phones every day.
So how would you explain the difference between those languages to someone who's totally new to this?
Well, imagine you're building a house.
Right.
Python is like your versatile multi-tool, great for a variety of tasks and perfect for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
Java is more like your heavy-duty construction equipment,
Right.
powerful for building large, complex structures.
So,
But maybe not the first thing you'd hand someone with no experience.
okay, that's a really helpful analogy.
Yeah,
So you don't need to be a coding wizard to get started,
right.
but you do need to choose the right tool for the job.
Mm-hmm.
What about those tricky sounding things like algorithms, though?
Think of algorithms as the blueprints for your code.
Mm-hmm.
They're the step-by-step instructions that tell the computer what to do.
Okay.
Understanding how to design and implement efficient algorithms is key to building software that runs smoothly and effectively.
So it's like having the secret recipe to make your code delicious,
Yeah,
or at least functional.
precisely. And here's a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
If these languages are the tools and algorithms are the blueprints,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of digital masterpiece do you want to create? What problems do you want to solve? What impact do you want to have on the world?
That's a great point. It's not just about the technical skills.
Right.
It's about having a vision for what you want to build. And speaking of vision,
Okay.
our sources emphasized another set of skills that go beyond the technical side.
Yeah.
Those all important soft skills.
Mhm.
They talk a lot about communication, adaptability, collaboration, and problem solving.
Those skills are absolutely critical in the fast-paced, ever-changing landscape of software development.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You're constantly collaborating with others, tackling complex challenges, and adapting to new technologies.
So you're saying even if you're not a coding whiz,
Yeah.
you can still thrive in this field if you have strong people skills and a knack for problem solving.
Absolutely. These are the skills that allow you to communicate your ideas clearly,
Mm.
work effectively as part of a team, and navigate the inevitable curveballs that come your way.
It sounds like you're saying those soft skills can really make or break a software engineer's success. But I'm still curious about what a typical day looks like for someone in this field.
Hmm.
Do they really spend all day, every day just coding?
It's definitely not all about staring at a screen and typing furiously.
Okay.
There's a surprising amount of variety in a software engineer's day,
Mm-hmm.
and it often involves a lot more human interaction than you might think.
Okay, so paint a picture for us.
Okay.
What might a typical day look like?
Well, imagine this. You start your day by catching up with your team,
Okay.
maybe over a virtual coffee chat
Mm-hmm.
or in a quick stand-up meeting.
Right.
You discuss ongoing projects, brainstorm solutions to any roadblocks you're facing, and make sure everyone's on the same page.
So there's that collaborative element right from the start.
Exactly.
It's not just you and your code.
Exactly. Then you might dive into some focused coding time.
Okay.
working on a specific feature for a website or app,
Right?
you're putting those algorithms and design principles into action,
Mm-hmm.
translating ideas into lines of code.
That sounds like it could be both challenging and rewarding.
It absolutely is. Later in the day, you might switch gears and spend some time reviewing a colleague's code,
No.
offering constructive feedback,
Right.
and ensuring it aligns with the team's standards and best practices.
So it's like being a supportive teammate and a quality control expert all rolled into one.
Exactly. And of course, there's the inevitable debugging,
Ugh.
those pesky little errors that pop up and require some serious problem-solving skills to track down and fix.
I bet they can feel frustrating at times,
Yeah.
but also kind of like solving a puzzle.
It's definitely both. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Every single task, from coding to debugging to collaborating with your team, is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to push the boundaries of what's possible with technology.
That's a really inspiring way to look at it. Now, I know we talked about those essential programming languages earlier,
Yeah.
but our sources also mention that software engineers often specialize in specific areas. What are some of the most common or in-demand specializations right now?
There are so many exciting paths you can take within software engineering.
Okay.
One of the most popular areas is web development,
Mm-hmm.
where you're building the websites and web applications that we use every day.
That's a huge field.
Yeah.
It seems like every business organization
Yeah.
and even individual needs a website these days.
You're absolutely right. And then there's mobile app development,
Okay.
which is another booming area as people increasingly rely on their smartphones for everything,
Right.
from banking to shopping to entertainment.
I know, I'm definitely guilty of that.
Yeah.
I feel like I practically live on my phone.
I think we can all relate to that. And beyond those two,
Yeah.
there are specializations like data science, where you're analyzing massive data sets to uncover hidden patterns and insights,
Okay.
or artificial intelligence, where
Right.
you're creating intelligent systems that can learn and adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's cloud computing, cybersecurity, and so many more.
Wow, it sounds like the possibilities are practically endless.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm completely new to this world,
Okay.
but I'm intrigued by the idea of exploring software engineering as a career.
Right.
What are some concrete steps I could take to get started?
That's a great question. The first step is to build a strong foundation in the fundamentals of software development.
Okay.
That means diving into those core programming languages,
Right.
understanding software design principles, and learning how to thoroughly test your code.
Okay, so it's back to those essential hard skills we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But what are some practical ways to actually learn those things?
There are more resources available now than ever before.
Like what?
You could enroll in a formal computer science program at a university or college, or you could explore the vast world of online courses and tutorials.
Online learning seems like a really accessible option,
Yeah.
especially for people who are juggling work or other commitments.
Absolutely. Platforms like Coursera and Udemy offer a wide range of courses taught by industry experts.
Okay.
And you can learn at your own pace and on your own schedule.
So what about that idea of building a portfolio to showcase your skills?
Right.
How important is that for someone who's breaking into the field?
Building a portfolio is one of the best ways to demonstrate your abilities to potential employers. It's like saying, here's what I can actually do, here's the proof.
So it's not just about talking the talk.
Yeah,
It's about walking the walk and showing what you're capable of creating.
exactly. And even if you're a complete beginner,
Mm-hmm.
there are plenty of small projects you can work on to build up your portfolio.
Okay.
You could create a simple website,
Right.
build a basic app, or even contribute to an open source project.
It sounds like building a portfolio is not only a way to showcase your skills,
Yeah.
but also a great way to learn and experiment with different technologies.
Right.
But what about actually landing a job in this competitive field? Any advice on navigating the job search process?
One of the most valuable things you can do is to network.
Okay.
Attend industry events,
Uh-huh.
connect with people on LinkedIn,
Right.
and reach out to software engineers whose work you admire.
So it's all about building relationships and learning from people who are already successful in the field.
Precisely. And when you're ready to start applying for jobs,
Okay.
be sure to tailor your resume and cover letter to highlight the specific skills and experiences that align with the job requirements. It's all about showcasing your value and demonstrating how you can contribute to the company's success.
So it's about making it crystal clear why they should hire you.
Exactly.
But what if you're facing a lot of rejection? Any tips on staying motivated during the job search?
It's important to remember that the job search can be a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged by a few rejections.
Right.
Instead, use them as opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
Keep refining your skills, keep networking, and keep putting yourself out there.
So it's all about resilience and persistence. Don't give up on your dream just because it takes a little time and effort to achieve it.
Exactly. And remember, a career in software engineering is about so much more than just writing code. It's about using your creativity, problem-solving skills, and technical expertise to build solutions that make a real difference in the world.
It's about shaping the future, one line of code at a time. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. It really is incredible to think about the impact software engineers are having on the world.
Yeah.
And speaking of impact,
Right.
our sources emphasize the importance of staying up to date with the latest technologies and trends. It seems like things move at lightning speed in the tech world.
Absolutely. It's a field that's constantly evolving, and continuous learning is essential if you want to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Those who are willing to adapt and embrace new tools and technologies will have a definite advantage.
Our sources mention a few specific things that seem to be in high demand right now,
Okay.
like cloud platforms, version control systems, and DevOps tools.
Right.
Can you break down what those are
Sure.
and why they're so important?
Let's start with cloud platforms.
Okay.
Think of them like giant virtual data centers that companies can use to store and manage their data and applications. Amazon Web Services, AWS, and Microsoft Azure are two of the biggest players in this space.
So instead of having to build and maintain their own physical servers,
Yeah.
companies can basically rent space in the cloud.
Exactly. It's much more efficient and scalable,
Okay.
allowing companies to adjust their resources as needed.
That makes sense.
Then we have version control systems like Git, which are essential for collaborative software development. They allow teams to track changes to their code,
Right.
see who made what modifications, and easily revert back to previous versions if needed.
So it's like having a detailed history of your code,
Yeah,
which I imagine is super helpful for managing complex projects
absolutely.
and avoiding those, oops, I broke the code moments.
Precisely. And finally, we have DevOps tools, which are all about automating and streamlining the process of building, testing, and deploying software.
Right.
This helps teams work more efficiently and release updates more frequently.
It sounds like these tools and technologies are really changing the game in software development.
Yeah, for sure.
But learning all of this can feel overwhelming for someone just starting out. Any advice for staying focused and motivated amidst this constant evolution?
It's definitely a challenge to keep up with the rapid pace of change, but there are a few things that can help.
Okay.
First, focus on building a solid foundation of those core concepts we talked about earlier.
Right.
Programming languages, algorithms, design principles.
Yeah.
Those fundamentals will serve you well no matter what new technologies emerge.
So it's like building a strong base for your knowledge pyramid.
Exactly.
And then you can add those new technologies as the pyramid grows.
Exactly. Also, don't be afraid to specialize.
Okay.
Once you've got those core skills down,
Right.
you can start diving deeper into specific areas that interest you,
Yeah.
whether it's web development, AI, cybersecurity, or something else entirely.
I think that's great advice. It's about finding your niche within this vast world of software engineering.
Right.
Now, as we wrap up our deep dive,
Okay.
there's one more thing I'm curious about.
Mm.
We've talked about the technical skills,
Yeah.
the collaborative nature of the work,
Mm-hmm.
and the constant need to adapt and learn.
Right.
But what would you say is the most rewarding aspect of being a software engineer?
For me, it's the incredible power to create something from nothing.
Wow.
You start with an idea, a blank canvas. Then using your knowledge and skills, you bring that idea to life in the form of software that can solve problems, entertain people,
Right.
and even change the world.
That's a really beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the potential impact that software engineers can have. They're not just writing code, they're building the future.
Absolutely. And as technology continues to advance at an incredible pace, the role of software engineers will only become more important in shaping the world around us.
Well, that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for taking us on this deep dive into the world of software engineering.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been incredibly insightful, and I'm sure our listeners feeling much more informed
Yes.
and perhaps even inspired to explore this field further.
I hope so.
And to our listener,
Yeah.
I'd encourage you to keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Who knows? You might just create the next groundbreaking app or technology that changes the world.
That's the dream.
That's a fantastic note to end on. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic.